Alright, it's tournament time. It's tournament time. Blingy blong, bling a blong. It's taking a minute. It's a very handsome share. Maybe I should turn these lights down just a smidge. There we go. Thanks for the like, Chad. I appreciate you. Thanks for dropping by. Tournament time tonight. And also talking about prison abolition. Let's get this bread. What up, Big Richie Lizzie? Thank you for the like, Ramon. Here we go. First tournament match. He's on Wi-Fi, but it's okay. Forgot to mute my mic.
Jax, Coliseum.
Thank you, Chad. See about this guy. Seems like he's pretty good.
You're a weapon of mass destruction.
That is how you think of me.
of anyone
Hey,
calling
what's up,
himself
Vulcan?
a god.
Round 1. Fight.
I'm doing alright, Vulcan. How you feeling?
I'm pulling rank.
Thanks for the light fade.
You ready for this?
Now he's in the corner.
Round 2. Fight.
Cheeks from chill. Oh my goodness, this guy. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Nope, stop. That's how we do our first tournament match. Oof. My stream is lagging.
Liu Kang.
Yeah, I see I'm getting dropped frames. I hit my shit.
Wu Shi.
Hold on, I'll try and fix the frames in a minute.
Sonya's got a lot of faith in you.
After this match, I'll
Coming
try and
from
fix the
her,
frame rate.
That means
I think you're still untested.
Round 1. Fight.
I'm smoking
Nope. The Dufferino.
you, ass bitch.
My day was okay. It was long.
Round 2.
It's a very busy day.
Fight.
Nope. Don't do that. Don't do that. Nope. Sneaky. Won't. I'll take those.
Fatality.
Now that's sad.
Jax wins.
And yeah, first match is W column for old Endless. And he quit. It's a first of two. It's a first of two. That's how I'm gonna do you when we play. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. All right, let me see why Why am I dropping so many frames? Sorry. Nah, I'm still like in OBS, like in slobs. I still see I'm dropping like 12% of my frames. This Undergong shirt, appreciate it. We played with them. I think I got this shirt when we played with them. And the last band that I was in with Ben. I'm trying to figure out why I am dropping so many frames. There's 10% of my CPU being used. Coincidentally, I'm dropping 10 frames, 10% of my frames. So, what is using so much CPU? OBS 64. It's literally just slobs. It's just slobs being a frame hog. I got some sinister eyebrows. So many printers in the background. I just got it's just this one printer. And this is the wash and cure station from my printer. But yeah. So anyway, I think that solution is fixed now. Oh yeah, I do have a printer behind me. That's like a regular paper printer. That printer's actually not plugged in now. I don't have any ink in that printer. So hang on. I can print anything 2D and 3D, yeah. So this is a cool little graphic that I sent someone. 2D, 3D, 1. I can't print anything. Well, I guess I can print 1D. But anyway, ooh, how'd that get so teeny tiny? All right, let me bigger that up a little bit for y'all. Oh my goodness, I stretchied it. How do I not stretchy it? Hang on. There we go. Okay. All right. I didn't ruin it, you guys. There it is. Educational content. Yes, the educational content. All right. All right. Here's this cool graph. All right. So I'm gonna talk a little bit. I'm not gonna go super deep because I'm gonna do like a super deep dive on Black History Month in February. Help you be less goofy. Yeah. So Fade Runner and we've been talking at work about a concept called helping our friends be less goofy. I'm gonna zoom back in so you can tell that we're friends and I care about you and I want to help you. Okay. I want you to understand these concepts and I want you to engage with them on a level that is not superficial so that at the very least you're better able to steel man the arguments of people that you interact with when it comes to this topic, because unfortunately, like most things on the left, people will encounter like pastel colored hair individuals who may or may not be emotionally charged in their invective on this topic, and it leaves a bad taste in people's mouths on stuff that really should be common knowledge, unfortunately. But you know, I will say that I have no opinion on that state of affairs one way or the other, because I know from my experience, it becomes very exhausting trying to just explain my existence and like justify and like validate my existence to people, right? Especially in like the quote unquote debate format. It gets very exhausting when you're trying to like debate the validity of like your existence and your desire to continue to exist unassailed in the future. And people are just like, well, we've always done it this other way, which necessitates that people like you continue to be savaged. So we have to continue to do it that way, even though that's not necessarily true. But anyway, so the prison industrial complex is a set of interests, which is guards unions, politicians, government, private prison companies, developers and construction companies, investment banks, law enforcement victims rights groups, prison industries, prosecuting attorneys and DAs. So there's a varied like pool of people, and like you'll notice they're all in a particular like field, which is the area of like commerce and land ownership and protection and so on and so forth, right? Developers and construction companies or private prison companies, right? So like these are the people that are at the forefront of society, I guess you could say, right? These are the people who truly run everything. These are the people that the world that you see around you is built for. Politicians, right? People in the government. And as I've discussed many a time with my podcast co-host, sometimes that can be as small as, you know, just prison guards, prison workers, right? If you're a town like Hagerstown, where the largest industry in the town is the local prison, right? So you have all these interests from the people who own all of the property, possess all of the capital, right? They are the people who essentially have everything and just kind of push the public in the direction that they find most desirable. And the thing that gives them, these are the things that give them power, right? Racism, xenophobia, sexism, capitalism, homophobia, right? Like, I wish I would have expressed this in the conversation that I was having with the other fellow that was in the Discord call with Stardust. And like I worried for a while about my tone in that conversation, especially towards the end when I like just kind of lost my cool and started calling him stupid and calling him an idiot and shit. Because you know, I feel like it's fairly easy to demonstrate that he was arguing in bad faith, and it was becoming very exhausting for me trying to say the same thing over and over to him again. Hey, what's going on, Frackle? I'm just talking really quick about well, specifically right now I'm talking about a conversation I had on Stardust channel with another fellow. I was worried about my tone in that conversation and how I came across, and you know, me calling him stupid and all that stuff. But like I said, I feel like it's fairly easy to demonstrate that he was arguing in very bad faith with me, and it was becoming very exhausting for me trying to first of all explain like concepts that he seemed very confident on but demonstrated a lack of knowledge on, and also him just repeating the same straw men to me over and over again that I had to like sometimes literally like twice in a row, where to the point where I literally got like I lost my cool. But then I remembered like Fred Hampton himself literally talked about like putting hands on black capitalists in his movement and shit. So I guess it is what it is. But anyway, what I wanted to express in that conversation that I feel like I didn't really express adequately, that if I had the ability to do over now, I feel like I could or would, which is that the main interests, the like guards unions, politicians, government employees, private prison companies, like evil contractors and like speculators and investment bankers and like law enforcement groups and prison industries and shit, all those like stereotypically like comically like horror movie, sci-fi movie, like video game evil interests, the things that they benefit from are us fighting over the crumbs that they throw us, because they know that if we're busy doing that, we won't flip their banquet table, which is the fruits of our labor, right? In your opinion, civility is overrated with people who pointedly refuse to listen. At some point, you have to just ignore them and talk past them to whoever's listening. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, racism, xenophobia, sexism, like all this stuff it's literally just bootlicking by other means. It's you're accepting your place in the hegemony because you have an innermost sadistic desire to one day ascend to the peak of the hegemony. And the only way to delude yourself into thinking that you can ascend beyond that is to kick down on the people that you perceive as below you in that hegemon. So like black people, trans people, queer people, poor people, immigrants, whoever, women, whoever, like Jews, whatever like minority group you want to fill in there. The tools that they use to enforce that, as in like institutional tools, would be prisons, police, the surveillance state, courts, the criminalization of things. So say for example like cannabis, the criminalization of cannabis, something that the vast majority of people in America overwhelmingly think should be legal, but is still considered a felony sometimes. The media, the way that certain minority groups, like quote unquote minority groups, are portrayed, which is the product of like think tanks, and the militarization of the police force is included in that, of course, and all that shit is used for social control, right? And really all that shit is a response to problems that they don't really want to address, problems that they can't address, which is poverty, homelessness, joblessness, drug addiction, especially now, where half of the people who have died from fentanyl overdose, I think is the most recent statistic. I have several friends who would still be here if not for the war on drugs. Abuse in the home, institutionally, in schools, in the workplace, wherever. Political dissent by people who are, not willing to be willing participants in their own subservience, basically. Mental illness. So, like, the clinicalizing of certain natural behaviors in a rigid, hegemonical, brutal system as mental illness, which is something I'll talk about when I get into the reading of Medical Apartheid, which is a book that I read a couple of years back. That I'm going to read again just to be fresh and have some highlights and quotes for it, so I can have some cool content for you guys come February. Hopefully come February I have some really, really cool stuff, both like for YouTube and streaming front. But yeah, and basically just fear. Just the fear that all of these things will collapse in upon them. You know what I mean? And of course, all of those things target young people, queer people, women, poor people, political dissenters, people of color, immigrants, as I've already stated. And the results that it produces are broken families and communities, insecurity, lack of public resources for education, health, recreation, housing, fear and hatred, disenfranchisement, marginalization, more inequality, more racism, right? More human rights abuses and violence and environmental injustice, right? And just public debt, because you will be behind on all of your bills and stuff if you get locked up. And what I would like to portray to some of my foreign viewers who may not be American, who don't particularly understand why, at the very least, I would say that prison abolition is like very black, or like very African American specifically. Um, in nature is, number one, obviously, specifically in reference to like slavery abolition, which needs to still happen, which is something I'll get to in a minute. Trust me, you're gonna want to stick around for that one. But in reference to the modern day prison industrial complex, which doesn't just include the prison, right? It doesn't just include the building and the bars itself. You could be on parole, which is like, if you're around other felons and all these other restrictions, to where if you get caught breaking those restrictions, you get sent right back to prison. There's house arrest, to where you're literally stuck inside of a certain radius. You have this ankle bracelet on that tracks like your GPS location, so you can't leave a certain area. Once you become a felon, your life becomes extremely difficult, right? Homeowners associations won't sell houses to you. They won't let you move into their neighborhoods. Certain businesses won't hire you, right? Like you would be surprised at how difficult life becomes once you have a felony. Also, crucially, you cannot possess a firearm. You are not legally able to possess a firearm if you're a felon. But so yeah, there's a lot tied into what the prison system is, at least here in the United States. I can't really speak for overseas. I have some familiarity, the most vague familiarity, with like the Norwegian prison system, like anecdotally, as a consequence of the music that I'm into, being aware of a musician who infamously murdered another famous musician in that genre, and served what most Americans, I feel like, would perceive as a fairly short prison sentence. I think he only did 21 years in prison for murder, which a lot of Americans would see as like inconceivable, right? When if you murder someone, that's like life in prison, just like 70 years, like crazy football numbers, is just like a natural thing to a natural conclusion to committing even like victimless crimes here in America, right? Like if you get caught with a pound of cannabis in Alabama, you're probably going to jail for a long fucking time. Varg was sentenced to 21 and did like 15. Yeah. It's also an edge case because the dude's like a certifiable piece of shit, like neo-Nazi, and was caught in the act of trying to commit more harm, which is honestly a note that I could go on about neo-Nazis and fascists and platforming them, talking to them, giving them any leeway in society. But hey, Louis Cachet, yeah, that's pretty cool, Frackle. Um, that's pretty cool. There's also like there might be like jail solidarity in your area that you can link with, and I know they do a lot of stuff like putting money on people's books and that kind of stuff too. There's people in my area that do that stuff. Like on New Year's Eve, they make noise outside of the jail so that, yeah, it's That's my next match for Mortal Kombat. It's a weird subject because there's really only so much you can do at the end of the day if you're not gonna like straight up like like break into jail and release people, like let people out of the jail, right? Scorpy fake. Let's play this guy. There are very limited programs for that around here, but I've been working on establishing a bail project chapter down here. That would be really fucking rad. That would be really fucking rad in the literal sense of the word. Radical. Frackle. Just do whatever you feel like you are within your ability to do, and it will be enough, and you will gather people who will want to help, and yeah, eventually, as long as people are doing it for the right reasons. Alright. Let me get sweaty in this Mortal Kombat match, because it's a tournament match, and then we can go back to politics. But let me just be sweaty for like 5 minutes.
Tarkatan War Camp.
Slate's really bright.
Round 1.
Oh no.
Fight.
I'm about to get my cheeks slapped, aren't I? I was holding the block like shit. Sheesh. Alright, let me play like I know how to play really quick.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh my god! Oh! Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this demon.
Jackie Briggs wins. Flawless victory.
Alright, let me play like I know how to play.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh my, it went right through her. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, the double flawless in the tournament.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh my god, dude. This is rough.
Finish him.
That was ugly.
Brutality.
Ew, what a mess.
Jackie Briggs wins. Flawless victory.
The triple flawless. The triple flawless. Angola prison in Louisiana? Yeah, that's actually specifically the prison that I bring up whenever I talk about this specific topic. I'm just sorry. I have to address this really quick. That was one of the most brutal L's. Would I tell you that was the craziest L that I have ever taken? One of the most demoralizing games I have ever played on this game. Would I tell you that the way that that game has just made me look, like, I've been feeling myself. I've been playing this game for multiple years at this point. I'm like a tournament level player. I just got triple flawless in a tournament. I'm just like, I'm sorry. Anyway, so yeah, sheesh. Fuck, man. All right. So yeah, so when I talk about prison abolition, Angola prison is a prison I specifically bring up because, and when I talk about this and like the 13th Amendment and stuff, because it looks like this. This is not like a colorized picture from, 1867. This is fucking modern times. This is what prison is. Prison is slavery. Angola prison is a prison labor plantation. Hang on. Let's look at the 13th Amendment. I do this a lot on stream. We're going to do it again. So, let's look at this part here first. Though the amendment abolished slavery throughout the United States, some black Americans, particularly in the South, were subjected to other forms of involuntary labor, such as under the Black Codes, as well as subjected to white supremacist violence and selective enforcement of statutes besides other disabilities. Right. So the Black Codes is what eventually led to Jim Crow. The Black Codes came about initially because during slavery you still had freedmen and you still had somewhat of like a black middle class, which is where my grandmother's family comes from. My great grandmother's family, anyway. The Markhams actually had their own land and stuff in Louisiana. I'm sorry, in Mississippi, not Louisiana. But that was in Mississippi. I'm also going to go over that stuff during my Black History Month stream, because I'm going to have another sit down with my grandmother, probably have some conversation with her, talk about stuff that she did and saw back then. But they were sharecroppers. But anyway, let's look at the text of the 13th Amendment itself, right? And let's first of all keep in mind what the 13th Amendment was ratified to address, right? Which is the institution of slavery. So Section 1 says, neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. So you'll notice this amendment didn't actually abolish servitude. It didn't actually abolish slavery. It just made it the punishment for a federal crime. So, what it really did is just socialize the institution of slavery. Slavery was no longer a private institution at that point. It kind of is now because you have private prisons, right? So in that respect, because you have privately owned prisons that have prison labor, you kind of have privately owned slaves. But really, all that stuff is overseen by the federal government at this point. And let me actually show you guys something else. So, you may have not heard of this, or you may have, but they're called Unicor. Federal Prison Industries Incorporated, doing business as Unicor, stylized as Unicor, since 1977, is a wholly owned United States government corporation created in 1934 as a prison labor program for inmates within the Federal Bureau of Prisons and a component of the Department of Justice. It is headquartered in Washington, D.C. So the one thing that people tell you they're most afraid of, like, oh, the communists and the gulags, that shit literally already exists in America and has since 1977. It's a fake corporation that is literally just the government on the market so the government can make money off of the people who are locked up in its systems for stuff like weed and cocaine and heroin. Now, mind you, there are people like murderers and rapists and child molesters and so on and so forth in these prisons, but you know, there's definitely different solutions to those issues, those social issues, than having a cage where we throw them, where the government makes money off of them being there and they're forced to do labor. Because under U.S. federal law, all physically able inmates who are not a security risk or have a health exception are required to work either for a Unicor or at some other prison job. As of 2021, inmates earned between 23 cents to $1.15 per hour. FPI is deemed a mandatory source and will receive priority for U.S. federal government purchases in the aftermath of damages from the storming of the U.S. Capitol. So, after all the shit they got fucked up the weekend of January 6th, or like the week of January 6th, everything leading up to January 6th, all the shit that got destroyed, all the protests and everything that happened, culminating in January 6th itself, the first people who got paid were the FPI. So, that's what we mean here in America when we say prison abolition. We say that because prison is slavery. There's other philosophical reasons why conceptually prisons don't work that I could get into. And I guess. Basically, they've known, like, since prisons were invented, that prisons don't work and, like, actively fuck society up. And that they're literally just a place for the aristocracy to throw their undesirable members of society. So like you're homeless, you're mentally ill, you're like swarthy, or like people of color or whatever, you're gay people or whoever, like people who you don't want to see on the street, you just throw them in jail. That's how it works. And even better if you can make money off of them while they're in there, because jail is slavery. There's a thought slime video I wanted to watch. Let's watch this thought slime video. Let's see how long it is, because I only have 15 minutes to my next tournament, or a tournament match. Or it's not thought slime. What is it? Second thought. Thought slime is good though. Shout out thought slime. Because it's also relevant to the conversation I was having with Stardust prior to her inviting that gentleman into the stream to, I guess, I don't know, you would call that debate with me, I guess. I don't know. So I got this video queued up, but it's more than 15 minutes long, and after that next match, I kind of want to practice. I won't lie to you. That was embarrassing. What up, Kuma? Thought slime is base, yes. I will do Combat League matches until the next tournament match.
Jax. Fujin. Retro Kid.
My man pulled the Fujin out. I'm ready to get my fucking booty clapped. I'm ready to get spanked. I'm ready to catch some little rascals.
Round one, fight.
Okay, bud. Okay, bud. I could have sworn I trusted him. That was a whiff command grab right there.
Round two, fight.
Okay, bud. Alright. Alright. I guess I suck at Mortal Kombat again. I fucking... The Monstars came and sucked the talent out of me in space, like it's Space Jam. I suck now. I'm not good anymore. I'm bad. Or maybe I never was good.
Round 1. Fight!
Bruh. Bruh. Excuse me? Hello? Okay. Okay. He's punching me in the tootsie every time. Okay. The Tootsie Punch. There's nothing I can do about the Tootsie Punch.
Round 2. Fight!
Oh my god. Oh, what? What? That's the second character that can beat that. Oh my god. Nope. Oh, yo, can I please? Oh my god, dude. Why did my gotcha grab come out? Oh my god. Why? The most lit whiffed inputs. I fucking suck at Mortal Kombat. I'm not good anymore. I bet. I knew I should have did that dab. What up, Tower 16? I knew I shouldn't have did that dab. It's time for me to do another dab. Hopefully, after this next match, I will fare a little bit better. And the next tournament match as well. We'll see.
Sub-Zero. Jax, Shinnok's Bone Temple.
The Bone Dome. The Bone Dome. right.
Fight.
All right, subby boy. Nope. Oh my god. Nope. Get bodied. Shouldn't have did that. Nope. Nope. Oh, he's mad.
Round 2. Fight.
Nope, sir. Oh, I'm silly. My little ear. Nope. Nope. I'm silly for that because I knew he was gonna do that this whole time. I'm also silly for that. Oh! No sir, skis. No sir.
Brutality.
Slammer jammy.
Now that's just
That's
sad.
what that game was called,
Jax
right? I think that's what it was
wins.
called.
Round 1. Fight.
Nope. Think we're looking at Nope. Had him show. Oh no. My little eardrummy. Nope. Back up. Nope. Nope.
Cannon fodder.
Nope. Get shipped to
Ready
death.
for this?
Death chip.
Round 2. Fight.
Nope. Bruh. Nope. Do it. I commit. MK11.
Ask for mercy.
Finish him.
The dirty combo in the end.
Brutality.
Now that's just sad.
Jax
Dirty,
wins.
dirty. Dirty. The big bonk combo to end it off. I did give him the ground ribs. The ribs. He was ribbed for my pleasure. Because I definitely enjoyed it when I slammed him into the ground and his ribs were all on the screen and shit. MK11, what the fuck barbecue? McRibbies. Is it time for the McRibbies?
Sindel.
Oh nah, I'm ready to get dealt with. No.
Jax. Soul Chamber.
I'm ready to get triple flawless again. Here it comes. I want to watch that match, just see what the fuck that Jackie was even doing, dude. 'Cause I couldn't do shit. I got triple flawless on stream in a tournament. Sheesh, dude.
Round 1. Fight.
Okay. Okay. Get Binky.
I'm smoking you.
Nope, get snatched. Shoot you out the air. Shoot you out the air. Nope. Shoot you out the air.
Round 2. Fight.
Shoot you out the air. Oh! Nope. Now you're in the corner. You fucked up now.
Shut up and come over.
Bonk. I don't care about none of that. I'm a big guard at all, too. Big shieldies. Big shieldies. Big shieldies. Nope. Risk it all. All for that. Get on the ground.
Jax wins.
Like Thanos. All that for a drop of blood. Oh no! Why would you do that? Just because you're mad I kept shooting you out the air? That's your fault. Why would you keep jumping? Let me shoot you out the air. Now you're gonna do nothing but throw fans across the map the whole T. Ah, it's gonna be so annoying.
Round 1. Fight.
Bink, 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 bink. Bink, 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 bink. Shoot him up there. Oh my god, I pressed the wrong button.
I'm pulling rank.
Oh my god. Big shieldies. Big shieldies. Big shieldies. Nope. Right through that dumb shit.
Your skills going Elvis.
Round 2. Fight!
Nope. Get the bonkers good and hot.
Jax wins.
Had to get the bonkers good and hot first. Well, that was a good one. And on that note, let's watch some Second Thought. Oh man, that was a good one. Nice tournament match. Tooted and booted. Tooting that big old body. Second Thought time, yes. Alright, hang on. Which let me see if I can find this joint. Here we go. Alright. This is important. This is very important. This is very key. This is very, very key.
This episode and others like it are made possible by the generous support of my patrons on Patreon. We just did a major overhaul of our patrons-only Discord server, so if you'd like to join our growing community and get early access to every video, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/secondthought. You've read the title, you've seen the thumbnail, you've inspected the element and combed through the metadata. This episode is about moderates, centrists, independents, pragmatists, middle grounders, fence straddlers, and the ungodly, unceremonious, electable politician. Today, we're looking at everyone's political neighbors in the middle of the street. Let's get this started. Cue the MLK.
That's so accurate, though.
First, I must confess that over the past few years, I have been gravely disappointed with the white moderate. I have almost reached the regrettable conclusion that the Negro's great stumbling block in his stride toward freedom is not the white citizens' counselor or the Ku Klux Klaner, but the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who prefers a negative peace, which is the absence of tension, to a positive peace, which is the presence of justice.
Look, I already know what you're going to say. JT, please describe to me in political science terms what a moderate is. Fine, but only because I want to. And as punishment for being so presumptuous, I'll start with the difference between the left and the right. You probably already know the story of the two terms. During the French Revolution, those who wanted to laisser les bon temps brûler with absolute monarchical power sat on the right side of the assembly, their version of the House, and the no-good radicals who wanted to try out terrifying and capricious parliamentary monarchy, sat on the left. This is a pretty specific issue to disagree about. So when people, i.e. academics with too much free time, try to come up with meaningful differences between the left and the right that hold true across most of global political history, you get very vague distinctions between the two political families. While today we associate the left and the right mostly with their stances on specific economic issues or cultural debates,
Frackle.
the most fundamental distinction that you can probably draw between these two is that the left seeks to change society into something new, and the right seeks to preserve present society or go back to something old. In practice, that usually means the left seeks to undermine established hierarchies and distribute power and wealth more equally, And the right seeks to preserve hierarchy and order since most existing societies are or were built around power being concentrated in very few hands.
I just wanted to pause really quick and say I'm really glad that they explained it this way, because it also leaves room for there to be like, there's totally conservative communists and there's totally like liberal, like what you would consider to be conservatives here in America. I don't know, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but like, just go with me on it. Like, whatever rigid like ideological system that you would think would necessarily dictate a specific set of like social views is not necessarily the case in every form. Like, there are plenty of like cool anarchists and quote unquote libertarians here in America. They're just very few and far between, and they're too busy being drowned out by all of the goofy people standing directly next to them who want to own guns and weed and children so that they can fuck them and make them work for them. But anyway, I also wanted to talk briefly about why MLK said what he said, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to let this video cook. I wanted to also agree with Frackle. I wish more people actually read Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. instead of just quote mining them whenever they were trying to win an argument with a leftist on the internet. But anyway.
But obviously, such a simple distinction will certainly make you mad. So be sure to comment why and how I've actually gotten it completely wrong in the comments section. I sure would hate for this video to get more engagement. Anyway, we've lost the plot a little bit here. We're not focusing on either of these groups. We're talking about the illuminated minds who can look past the squabbling of these dirty extremes. Moderates. The people who reject petty ideological battles.
The only
and at
sane
the end of
people.
The day, just know better than you and I. Just
Clearly.
listen to how terrible the extremes are in this No Labels video on the Biden infrastructure bill.
We've seen this movie before.
Toto?
No, not those movies. This one.
We will not support bipartisan legislation.
I'm telling the Republican senators that we're not going to stand for it.
The extremes on the left and right are trying to defeat a two-party solution for partisan purposes. 3 out of 4 Americans agree on the infrastructure bill that creates jobs, helps families, doesn't raise taxes, and powers America to beat China. Don't listen to the extremes. Support bipartisan infrastructure now.
Cool. Okay, fine. Let's be a little bit more charitable and actually understand what's going on here. Centrists and moderates in the US, the two terms are pretty much interchangeable, are people and politicians who are not entirely satisfied with the political programs of either major political party. Unlike people who reject both parties from the opposite ends of the spectrum, moderates are most at home in the supposed bipartisan middle. They usually like saying things like, "We're neither left nor right." We'll get to that sentence in a minute. But first, we might want to understand centrists a little better. If we are to assume the definition of left and right as historically transcendent terms about the stance one has towards present society and values like egalitarianism, being a centrist doesn't really make sense. Over time, movements that start out on the left, like liberalism, republicanism, or even parliamentary monarchy, become solidly right-wing movements without ever changing their ideology because they replace the old right and become contested by the new, more radical left. In such a position, centrism becomes nothing more than a conservative ideology. Its prime directive is resistance to change, and as a result, it's not, as they claim, neither left nor right, it's just right-wing. It might have been on the left in yesterday's society, but now that the goals of the old left are the established order and have become the new conservative right, preserving present society with only incremental and moderate reform, which is what centrists believe in, becomes a profoundly conservative worldview. And it makes sense that this is where moderacy settles, because it has to compromise between two completely opposing ideas, changing society in a new way or keeping it the same. Think about classic centrist statements like, We just need a mix of socialism and capitalism.
Yeah, so
an idea that
spoofy.
makes absolutely zero sense when you understand the two ideologies and that their base disagreement about the ownership of the means of production makes them fundamentally incompatible.
Yeah, you literally can't
Okay,
do that.
this all might seem a little confusing. Let's get away from the theory for a second and look at something concrete, like the Biden brand of centrism.
I know how to make government work. Not because I've talked or tweeted about it, but because I've done it. I've worked across the aisle to reach consensus, to help make government work in the past. I can do that again with your help. To me, our principles must never be compromised, but compromise itself is not a dirty word. Consensus is not a weakness. It's the only way our founders down the road there thought it was the only way we could govern. It was necessary. It was designed the way the Constitution sits. It requires consensus.
This speech is Biden's freebird. Biden, like pretty much every centrist, is a big fan of compromise. Reaching across the aisle to get past political gridlock is the doctrine of American centrism. And when you hear him talk about it, you can kind of get sucked into the idea that this form of compromise is what makes politics, and therefore society, progress. It appeals to our vision of the democratic ideal, a society in which everyone gathers around the table to discuss an issue and then comes to a mutual decision that compromises on the various interests represented by the assembly. And if, after all, nobody compromises, we might very well not get anywhere. In American politics, this is anything but democratic, though. And far from leading to the progress we're promised, we get a government that stagnates or actively pursues regressive, reactionary politics.
Facts.
Take immigration. For over a year, we heard just about every Democrat call out the very real far-right policies enacted by the Trump admin at the Mexican border. One of these was the invocation of Title 42, a policy choice that might as well be called, oh, it really is just that easy. At the start of the pandemic, the Trump administration used the pretext of national health and COVID-19 to close the southern border pretty much completely. Nobody comes in, and a whole lot of people go out. It was a brilliant success for conservatives and reactionaries, and a massive step back in immigration law. And to this day, Title 42 still stands. No, sorry, that makes it seem like people aren't paying attention to it. The Biden administration is defending it tooth and nail in the courts.
Yep.
True to the spirit of compromise, Biden changed the application of the rule so that it would no longer apply to unaccompanied minors. But on the back end, has used it to expel around 700,000 migrants.
Yep.
Far more than the Trump administration ever achieved with its paltry 450,000. Simultaneously, Biden has also continued the construction of the border wall, has led the infamous Do Not Come campaign, and left untouched migrant detention facilities. You'll remember them as concentration camps during the Trump presidency. Now, it's not that Biden has done nothing for progressive immigration politics. He's reinstated DACA and done work to reunite separated families. But the majority of his platform has been tweaking Trump-era policies in the spirit of compromise, rather than reversing them entirely and treating them like the indefensible right-wing policies that they are. Centrism isn't incremental progress in these circumstances. Malcolm X said it best.
You feel, however, that we're making
I
progress
love this quote.
in this country and worldwide?
No. I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that the blow made. They won't even admit the knife is there.
When reactionary and far-right politics are so dominant in a society as the US, and so regularly find their way to institutions of power, or are baked in right from the start, the centrist stance of compromise and incremental retroactive change allows for politics to jump to the right without ever really coming back. How many politicians today pretend that there's a reasonable compromise between the we need healthcare left and the we need an ethno-state right?
Right.
Title 42 still stands because the myopic compromise of moderate ideology fails to take into account longer political trends. There are, of course, some exceptions to the rightward shift of American politics, but the attachment to moderation at all costs makes any left-wing legislation a blip in what is otherwise a sea of reactionary bravado. But most centrists don't like this, and that's not how they think about themselves. They don't like the idea that they're just a mushy average of the left and the right, or a simple tool of conservative politics. Instead, Moderates describe their stance something like this. I don't care whether something comes from the left or the right. I just look at the idea and judge it on its own merit. Here, the tricky centrist thinks he's gotten us. We couldn't possibly disagree with the idea of sensibly considering multiple options and forming an opinion based on rational cost and benefit analyses. And he's right, but at the end of the day, centrism falls right back into the same place whether it sees its role as averaging out the left and the right, or picking and choosing from each side. And that's because the Overton window is so small and so skewed in the US. The choices centrists make are limited by the acceptable politics they are contextualized in, and the American political spectrum being so stunted toward the right with only figures like Bernie Sanders and his social democratic politics even approaching the left means that centrism will by default fall into the conservative, stagnatory, or even regressive role. There just aren't that many options to choose from, and they're mostly on the same side anyway. Even if the centrist voter is a careful and considerate pragmatist who doesn't blindly follow the party line and thinks entirely for themselves on every topic and political debate, the inevitable fact that they will be picking and choosing policies from the fascistic Trumpism in the Republican Party and the neoliberal capitalism of the Democrats, to the extent that they can even be differentiated at times, means they'll never actually consider the full range of political debate because the left isn't prominently represented. The result is the center conserves far more than it progresses. And when it chooses to conserve something built by the right, it actively engages in regressive, reactionary politics. There's also the issue that politicians who call themselves the center aren't really doing so in good faith. While they may represent the center between elected officials, the actual center of the American people is far more to the left on many key issues than the center of the American political class.
And I wanted to address that too in that conversation, is that right-wingers will call themselves centrists all the time because right-wingers are not honest people. And I wanted to hammer that point, but I couldn't really. But and for anyone who doesn't understand where the sentiment for censor all fascists, censor all like neo-Nazis, where that comes from, it comes from that, like the fact that the consequence of those people's rhetoric is literally my death. Like, we've already been where they want to take our country, right? We've been there. In some places we still are there, right? It's not really great for me, right? That doesn't really leave me a whole lot of options that I would enjoy in the future that those people want, right? So why would I even remotely consider anything that they have to say as being remotely worth acknowledging or considering on any type of platform? Why would I even treat a person like that as a human being? If I'm treating them as a human being, I'm already extending to them a courtesy that they have not extended to me, right? So thank you, Sami. So yeah. And that's what makes the whole don't censor fascists, because we just defeat them in the marketplace of ideas. If you're censoring them, that means you're afraid of their ideas being correct, whatever. Those people, you are sus to me. You will forever be sus to me until you acknowledge why that line of thinking is incorrect. And the reason for that is, as stated, you are in company with people who will literally lie to cover their genocidal aims. These are people who will pretend to be, assuming you are a good person, they will pretend to be just like you to disguise the fact that they literally want to kill me and you, more than likely. That is why, right? Because you can advocate for those extreme positions and still pretend to be in the center because you're like socially liberal, right? This is why people who say that they're socially liberal and fiscally conservative are sus, right? Because those are the people that they don't care if you're gay. They're not going to use the F slur when they talk to you, but at the same time, if your parents kick you out when you're 13 and you're homeless because you are a queer and you fucking like starve to death and die on the street, they don't care. They don't think that the government should step in any capacity to rectify that situation. That would be socialism, and socialism's bad, right? Socialism is when no money. And if the government prevents people from dying on the streets, then clearly they're taking money from me, as if they're not already taking money from me to turn brown kids into skeletons in Palestine. You know what I mean? But you know. Anyway, let's continue the thought slime, or the second thought. I keep saying thought slime. Shout out the thought slime. Second thought.
Class. Just look at this clip featuring celebrity centrist Joe Lieberman.
Your new book is called The Centrist Solution. You were a famous quote-unquote centrist senator.
Fuck Joe Lieberman.
And yet my issue with that word is that centrist doesn't
ruined Mortal
necessarily
Kombat.
reflect the American people's views. I want to pull up...
Joe Lieberman ruined Mortal Kombat. I just wanted to throw that out there really quick. Fuck Joe Lieberman just for that. Fuck you, Joe Lieberman. Eat a dick.
Some polling. Here are some of the measures in that Build Back Better bill that quote-unquote centrists like Manchin and Sinema want to get rid of. Here's how popular they are. Hugely popular across the spectrum. 83% support, 84% support, 73% support. And yet
Lieberman is why Obamacare had no public option.
Many of
Yeah,
those
fuck
measures
Joe Lieberman.
that the American people overwhelmingly support. So the question is, how in the world does that make you a centrist? Surely based on that polling, Bernie Sanders is closer to the center of American politics and public opinion than you are or Joe Manchin is.
Yeah, I don't think so, but it's a great question. That's not happening enough now. We could probably get some of those good things done on that list if people, instead of trying to push it through, would sit down and talk to each other and agree.
And here we get back to that MLK quote. It's absurd to think that any moderate Democrat or any Republican would ever agree to any of these policies that have overwhelming support among Americans if the only difference was that they were sat down and talked to, as opposed to having things, quote, pushed through. There is no way that moderate Democrats like Manchin, Sinema, or Biden are going to be convinced by good argumentation presented politely when that is contending with the massive sums of money changing hands to make sure they remain spoilers. MLK made it very clear. The moderates' role in politics is to slow things down to a trickle. Justice gets delayed further and further, never actually realized despite decades of promises, allowing for millions of people to continue suffering injustice and hundreds of thousands more to be brought into the fold. It's trite, but justice delayed is justice denied. The issue we're going to have to figure out is how we do anything about this. In every election, moderates are going to dominate the field because they will continuously be presented as more sensible, measured, and pragmatic than their opponents. They have done the careful electoral calculation and know that between the people who will inevitably vote for them and the people who will never vote for them regardless of what they do, the only way to win is to present themselves to the colossal group of American moderates who won't bother to go any further than see who gets closest to being the exact average of the Democrats and the Republicans. We know Americans want more from their politicians. We know that, for the greatest number of them, those things are further to the left than anything the government has provided in decades. That is a much bigger issue for our democracy than polarization. Democracy is slow by nature, and there are times when that can be a good thing. But when democracy is slowed down artificially like this, just for the sake of slowing it down and not letting things change for the better, when politicians ignore what people not only demand, but desperately need, it no longer resembles democracy nor its ideals. If you're hearing an appeal to authoritarianism or something in these statements, you're not understanding what I'm saying. We need far greater democracy than what we have today. Real democracy. Democracy for the majority. And continuing to venerate moderates in this country won't bring us any closer to getting it. I mentioned at the beginning of this video that this kind of content is made possible by my patrons on Patreon. As you can probably imagine, when I made the switch to producing political content, I started getting demonetized way more often, and most of my sponsors bailed. It's understandable, but because of this, I'm having to rely more heavily on viewers like you.
But yeah, you get the picture. So that's why I do what I do. High key, low key. Excellent video. That was actually my first time watching that all the way through. I only seen the first like few seconds of it. Joe Lieberman was the mansion of Obamacare. Facts. That it's so long ago. It feels like so long ago, but it really, I guess it really was a minute ago. There was a whole nother presidential cycle between Obama and where we are now, I guess. And we're already like, what, a quarter of the way into this presidency, and it's looking like it's gonna be a one and done. If this man botches this shit, if the Democrats, they're already looking like they're ready to botch it for 2022. Shit's kind of crazy, kind of wild. Like, dog, just cancel student loan debt. You could do that. Just do it. Like, I'm like, already got mine canceled. I'm good. I'm Gucci. I appreciate you, daddy, but like, it's other people out here that's hurting a little bit. I could probably use that.
Aaron Black.
The Aaron,
Jax.
not the
Goro's
Aaron. Not the laggy Aaron. Oh no. Jax.
Round 1. Fight.
And I got my bankers nice and hot.
Right, let's do this. Round 2. Fight.
Bankety bankety bankers. There we go.
Brutality.
Now that's just sad.
Put him in the skeleton
Jax
pile.
wins.
He picked a new one off of that one. He picked a new one.
Kung
Oh,
Lao.
he picked Kung Yi Lao. Not the Kung
Lost
Yi
hive
Lao.
of the Kaitin.
Oh no. This is literally the worst matchup in the game for Jax but we'll see. We'll see how I can finesse it. If I gotta switch to Scarlet, and so be it.
Round 1, fight.
I knew he was gonna do that shit. Got immediately banked, so.
Shut up and color.
Nope, no sir. Don't do that.
Round 2, fight.
Why don't you put yourself in the corner? Hot neck one, that's a good game.
Finish him.
Ship him. Now jacks him off.
Friendship. Jax wins.
That's how you jacks him off. That's how you jacks them off. Yeah, let's see what the standings are. I know I'm not top 8. Uh-oh. I think that was actually the last match. Because I just realized it's 11:30. It's after 11:30. Yeah, I didn't think I would be top 8. Yeah, the guy that beat me is fucking, look at that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that dude was playing different tonight. That dude is playing different. I'm at 13th. That dude is playing fucking different. Sheesh. Well, I'll take 13th. Out of 160 checked in. 13th out of 160 people. I'll take 13th out of 160 people. I'm thinking about going to Frosty Faustings in January next month. Alright, I'm gonna play like 1 or 2 games of Combat League, then I want to talk about Prison Abolition some more. Oh my god. Caught the band. Appreciate you. OG Brick Flair. Hell yeah. That's a hard ass name. OG Brick Flair.
Noob Cybot. Jax.
Noob
Sea
Cybot.
of Blood. Round 1. Fight.
Oh my god. Wow, what a comeback. The robbery, the absolute robbery.
Round 2. Fight. Finish him.
Bonk.
Jax wins. Round 1. Fight.
Oh, you goofed. Ooh, okay. OG Brick Flair.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, the ground ribs. Ah, you're so hungry to wake ups.
Finish him.
Yo gave the controller to his big brother. He gave the controller to his big brother.
Round 1. Fight.
I aired his ass.
Round 2. Fight.
That's not even what to do. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Good game, though. Oh, that does that much damage. Damn, that's crazy.
Noob Silent wins.
Alright, one more. Goofage. The goofage.
Jax.
I'm playing as blacks, mister. Please pick someone. Oh no, not the Codal.
Black Dragon fight.
No, Mr. Codal. Oh no, not the bug Codal. He's probably gonna be sweaty. Oh no, I'm gonna get sweated for my last game. Oh no. I blame Joe Lieberman for this.
Round 1. Fight.
Oh no, not command grabs. I command grabbed him too many times. Now he wants to command grab me. No. Oh. I thought he was gonna up 2 or up 3.
Round 2, fight.
I was blocking, but okay. Not the command grabs. The tick throws. Get binky. Get binky. Get binky. You're trying to lag me. You lagged yourself. You're trying to lag me. The only person you lagged was yourself. Woo! Whoa. Towards that drip.
Fight.
No, the grabs. That's plus frames. Oh my god! I can't believe I dropped that, but it's okay.
Finish him.
Bonk.
Jax wins.
We have not met in combat. Consider yourself.
Round 1, fight.
Shut up and color.
Not the command grabs, not the command grabs. Oh!
Round 2, fight.
Bullshit. I dropped out of that shit. Oh! I could have swore I was blocking. That was a good game though. Put me in the Sunny Beam. Alright. Let's talk about jail. Oh wait, it's one more. We gotta duke it out for the next one.
Round 1. Fight!
I knew he was gonna do that. Ah, fuck me. No, I shouldn't have tried anything. I didn't realize he was.
Round 2. Fight!
God damn. Thanks for the leg, Joe. Got him. Got him.
Final round. Fight!
Ah. Quick bonk. Oh! 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 Fuck. That was close. GG's. GG's.
Total Khan wins.
That's funny as shit.
Wait a minute!
You played the sad music and bounced. That's funny as shit. Alright, I'm gonna end Mortal Kombat on that note. Oh, that's funny. He played the sad music and bounced. Alright. I'm gonna show you guys something else that I'm gonna go surface level on tonight. But Sorry. I'm just going to show you guys this really quick.
It really was the Kmart of human experimentation from
Kmart of human
1951
experimentation.
to 1974.
Holmesburg Prison closed in 1996, but Alan Hornblum says what happened during the 50s, 60s, and 70s will live on forever. The researcher showed us photos
Acres of
inside his
Skin.
book, Acres of Skin.
Well, what you see in this bottom picture is the prototypic experiment that took place at Holmesburg. In some cases, it could just be very plain soap. In other cases, it could be a carcinogenic chemical. The inmates were never told.
Hornblum was a literacy instructor at the prison in the 1970s when he noticed many black prisoners in bad shape. He says UPenn dermatologist Albert Kligman led experiments on prisoners. The inmates were paid $1 a day, but it cost them their health. For his book, Hornblum spoke to Dr. Kligman before he died in 2010.
He thought what took place here was fine. According to his observation, the inmates were treated fairly.
Philadelphia shut down the experiments in 1974, 2 years after the Tuskegee syphilis experiment made national headlines. But the damage to the former inmates was already done.
They have lots of fears and regrets. They never really learned what they were testing or being injected with.
Almost a half century later, a survey shows 53% of blacks view medical scientists positively compared to whites and Hispanics.
Looks like I got another tournament match.
Dr. Ayla Stanford heads the Black Doctors COVID-19 Consortium, a group of predominantly black doctors who offer free testing in Philadelphia's low-income neighborhoods. Black communities in Philadelphia have a disproportionately high number of COVID cases and deaths. The consortium is working to break down the walls of mistrust among African Americans.
But you actually listen to what they're asking and you show them the testing kit. You demonstrate how it's going to be done.
Dr. Stanford says black doctors only make up 5% of all physicians in America.
Facts.
So educating white doctors about black health care is crucial.
You have to acknowledge what your own implicit biases are.
Absolutely.
When you see a 6'5" African-American male come into your office.
Absolutely.
In Holmesburg, Brandon Hudson, NBC 10 News.
All right. So there's that. And we'll get into that. Don't worry. I'm going to do my last tournament match, though, I guess. I have another tournament match. I was not expecting that. This guy looks good, though. Might lose. Omicron variant. I hope this dude joins in. I actually have to take my 3D printer apart tomorrow. Yo, what's up, All Money in 212? How you feel? Thanks for the follow, Killer Supreme 97. Thanks for the follow, All Money in 212. I appreciate you. Waiting for this tournament match. I said I'm waiting for this tournament match. I appreciate you, All Money in. Yeah, I wish I had something a little bit more eventful to show you. Right now, I'm just waiting for my tournament match. Games have been alright. One of my tournament matches, I got triple flawless, though. So, that was the first, and that was really fucking embarrassing. But other than that, games have been good. I've had really good games tonight. Hopefully this last dude joins in. I don't have to no-show him because it's getting close. It's got about 6 minutes. I appreciate you, All Money in, yeah. Hopefully this dude joins in. If not, so this is going to be the last tournament match. So either this guy joins in and I get one last tournament match, or I no-show him, and I'm pretty sure I'm top 8 for that. I want to say that, because I was 13th place last I checked, and I got this last match at midnight. So I want to say this one right here is for the business right here. And it's going to be a real shame if this dude doesn't show up for it. He got 5 minutes, though. I don't mind doing it this time. The first time, I didn't like doing it. The dude joined the last minute. I was happy as shit because I actually pulled out that W, and that was dope. This is for the ESL PS4 tournament. So the PS4 for the ESL. I don't know if their ESL has tournaments on the PS5, but I don't have a PS5 yet because I'm a broke nigga. So I hope I don't get banned for that. It just kind of slipped out. Since I know Twitch is out here banning people now. ESL does go deep into the night. Yeah, their last, if you win all your matches or you win enough points to get to the last match, and you're like not the top 4 or whatever, If you're just in the top 8, your last match is at midnight. But if you're like top 4, you have to do another match at 12:30, I think. And then if you're in the top 8, it qualifies you for the finals at the end of the month. So if I win top 8 tonight from this, then I'll be in the finals. I'm guessing that's going to be Thursday or next Thursday. One of the two. Thank you, Fraggle. I appreciate you being here. Get some rest. Yeah, you have to have endurance playing this. It's not like the Saturday tournaments where it's like, you know, matches are one after another. I kind of prefer that, honestly. It doesn't make for good content for the streams, because if you get a shitty bracket and you get clapped early, then the tournament ends early for you. But it definitely goes much faster. Yeah, I'm pretty tired too. I'm getting pretty fatigued. Like, I'm wired enough where I could pull out some last minute demonry to do this if I have to. But this guy is getting into a 2-minute warning here. I have a feeling he's gonna no-show. Thanks, DC Metal Chris. Yeah, I've been trying to start doing that more again. Just doing the news and stuff in between. Because I knew I've been slacking off from doing that. I got really stressed out and got kind of burnt out, honestly. But I'm gonna start doing more of that again. And like I said, I'm working on more content for February. It's gonna be Black History Month stuff, so that's gonna be really cool stuff. I think every Saturday in February I'm gonna be putting out some stuff, or doing long form streams, like multiple hours, like, you know, 4, maybe 5-6 hour streams. This dude probably fell asleep. Yeah, I mean, that's happened to me so many times. When I did Losty Girls tournament, I fell asleep. I missed my last match. I like went out somewhere. I went to someone else's house and passed out. So like, my alert went off on my phone and I woke up and I couldn't even play if I wanted to, because I wasn't even at my house. I didn't even have my PlayStation. But yeah, this dude is getting there. On 12:15 rolls roundy round. Unfortunately, that's looking like a top 8 for your boy, for Endless. Is that a top 8? A late top 8 for young Endless? Match starts time. Oh, for a while after the start time. You would have requested DQ? Yeah, I'm requesting DQ now and it's not letting me. Yes, I am a rucker. Fam. It's like, do I have to wait till 12:20? I guess is what I have to wait till. I'm gonna be heated if he reports me as no show. Oh, I guess 12:30. Do I really have to sit here for a whole half hour waiting for this dude? There we go. Alright. We got our no-show in. There we go. I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah, I took that W. Dub's a dub. Excuse me. Dub's a dub. So where am I at in the rankings? Let's see. Let's peep them. Peep them, peep them, peep them. And then I'm probably going to call the stream after that. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Probably put me in like 10th place, I guess. He wasn't doing too bad, though. That's a shame. He should have stuck around. I feel like he probably would have beat me if he would have stayed. He might have beaten me because he's higher up than me. Let's see where he was, because I think I slid from 13th. Because I think when I looked at it the first time, I was in 13th place. We'll know at 12:30. Yeah, he's where I was. And I'm down there, 19th. Filed a protest. My man filed the protest. That's his fault. He wasn't here. I waited. Yeah, hold up. Yeah, he filed the protest. I'm about to. Hold on, let me look at this. Thank you, Sharon. They said my man filed the protest, though. Oops. He was mad as shit about that. My man came rushing back to the fucking. That's crazy. My man came rushing back to his PS4. That's wild. So I waited all that time and they told me I had 2 minutes to react. So he tried to protest. I already. Okay. So we're going to have a match, I guess. You don't see how he's able to flip this at me? I mean, he's not going to. He can't. There's no way he can't because I responded to the message now. So. So I don't get what's supposed to happen now. Because I responded to the message. Yeah. He said, I'm ready. So I reported him as is not here. He responded with, I'm ready 22 after. And they said I had 2 minutes to react to the protest. And I said I was there. So, yeah. That's me then, right? Like, I thought they would at least give us the match, but if they're just going to give it to me, then that's me. Diggity damn. He's salty as shit. He should have been paid. He should have paid more attention. That's all I can say. That's not my fault. Yep, he's mad as shit. Wait, what? Whoa! Whoa! Whoa, what? I'm mad as shit. Wow, they chose a winner at random. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me with this bullshit, dude? They chose a winner at random? Hello, Miguel Romero 99. Hello, Endless Cemetery. Unfortunately, the round time is about to end and a winner will be chosen at random. Best regards, Maggie, ESL admin. What? 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 Dog. Wow, dude. Wow. Wow. Yep, and that's where I would be. I would be in 7th place right now. I would be in the top 8. That's where I would be right now. Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Oh my god, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? I got robbed for the fucking top 8 because the guy didn't show up at the last second, decides he wants to play, and off of a fucking coin flip, I lose and catch a smooth 16th fucking place. Wow. Is all I have to say about that. Is just fucking wow. Cause it wouldn't let me join the match either. I went into the thing. I went in here. Can I want to message this admin. Yeah, I had to message the admin of that. That was fucking crazy. 10 minutes. So I waited too long, but it wouldn't even let me. Are you fucking kidding me? It said that was 15 minutes. Okay. All right. That's cool, I guess. I don't know. All right. So I'm going to end the stream on that note. That. Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable. So let me see who we're going to raid. Jesus Christ. It's all good. Get them next week, I guess, right? Get them next week. So on my last tournament match, the dude didn't show up. So I reported him as a no-show. Sorry. I reported him as a no-show, and he contested the report as a no-show. And so they requested that I appear, which was crazy off top. So I appeared instantly, obviously. I wasn't taking any chances with that. And so they said because it was too close to the end of the round, they would decide the winner of the match randomly. And they just so happened to choose the guy who was reported as not being there in the first place. So I got cheated out of the top 8 position. I would have gotten 7th place if I would have won that. I should be in 7th place right now, but because he came back and challenged and they did that coin toss bullshit and he won, he got 7th place and I got 16th place. So yeah, that's how that works. Yeah. So that's fun. Wonder if he did it on purpose? Maybe. I guess if you have a 50-50 shot, you know what I mean? Why not? If you think your odds are better doing that than competing in the actual match, you know what I mean? But we're going to raid. Let me see who's online really quick before I settle on a raid. Thank you for watching, everyone, by the way. I appreciate you. I'll see you all Wednesday. I have no idea what I'm going to do Wednesday. I guess I will probably take callers or do something cool Wednesday. If you guys want to do like a cool group stream. Sharky's online. Let's raid Sharky. Thanks for watching, everyone. I will catch